Good evening and welcome to the first of two meetings tonight. My name is Dennis Buckley, Mayor of the City of Beech Grove, and at this time, we will convene our Board of Sanitation meeting for Monday, September the 21st, 2015. In lieu of a roll call, I will ask each participant to introduce themselves, beginning on my right.
Dan McMillan, Clerk Treasurer.
Craig Wiley, City Attorney.
Sandy Seward.
And Ed Bell is not able to be with us this evening. Board, you have been presented a printed copy of the minutes of the previous meeting dated Monday, September the 8th, 2015. Floor is open for questions, comments, or corrections.
And I have none.
No questions, comments, or corrections. I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll make said motion.
And I will second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. This evening, we have 4 pages of wastewater claims in the amount of $263,942.07. The floor is open for questions or comments.
I do have a couple questions.
All right.
On page 1, please. 3/4 the way down, ace in the hole for $36,000.
That,
Drive at Public Works.
Ah, perfect. Okay, thank you. My second question is still on page 1. There's 2 charges for raised trash service. One was for the recycling and the other one was for landfill charges for $376.
We have dumpsters behind our shop. We've had that for a couple of years now.
Oh, okay, thanks.
The first one is the $2,546.88.
That's for
That's the
recycling.
monthly recycling.
Thank you. And my third question, page 2, 3/4 the way down, Midwest Paving for $74,000. Is that the final for Bell Fountain?
Bell Fountain.
Okay.
Any further comments or questions?
That's it. Thank you.
No further comments or questions. I'll ask for a motion to approve the wastewater claims dated September 21st, 2015 in the amount of $263,942.07.
I'll make said motion.
I will second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. We have no unfinished business to carry over from the previous meeting. We have no new business this evening. Comments from board members?
I have none. Thank you.
No comments. I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make said motion.
I second. The meeting is adjourned at 6:01 p.m. We will reconvene on Monday, October the 5th, 2015. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the second and final meeting tonight. My name is Dennis Buckley, Mayor of the City of Beech Grove, and at this time, we will convene our Board of Public Works and Safety meeting for Monday, September the 21st, 2015. In lieu of a roll call, I will ask each participant to introduce themselves, beginning on my right.
Dan McMillan, Clerk Treasurer.
Craig Wiley, City Attorney.
Sandy Seward.
Ed Bell could not be with us this evening. Board members, you've been presented a printed copy of the minutes of the previous meeting dated Monday, September the 8th, 2015. The floor is open for questions, comments, or corrections.
I have none. Thank you.
No questions, comments, or corrections. I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll make said motion.
I will second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. Thank you. This evening, we have 28 pages of claims in the amount of $972,668.61. The floor is open for questions or comments.
Of course I have a question. Page 7, please.
All right.
All the way to the bottom.
All right.
The last two, Speedway Super America.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the fuel and then fire garage and motor.
Right.
I guess I see Speedway as like the gas station.
Yes,
So-
that's exactly what it is.
So what was $2,600? The very last.
That was yours, Rob.
That's the fire department's.
Ah,
gas
okay.
for the month.
Thank you. And I see the two on the next page as well. Okay, thank you.
Right.
And that was my only question. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
No other questions or comments? I'll ask for a motion to approve the corporate claims dated September 21st, 2015 in the amount of $972,668.61.
I'll make said motion.
I'll second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. We have no unfinished business carried over from the previous meeting. The only order of new business this evening is the introduction of the stormwater manual, and I'll call Mary Atkins from Westler. Good evening, Mary.
Hi. So I understand that that you probably didn't get a complete copy of it. It's a pretty thick document, but I was going to just go through it briefly to let you know what its contents are. That this is going to be a manual that will be used for development when development comes in, and it's kind of setting the standards on how things should be built and how things should be constructed for new development and redevelopment mostly. In some occasions, it does affect single-family homes when there's a major remodel or a large addition built on to make sure that they're draining the yard properly and not causing them problems on adjacent properties. So for the most part, think of this as, non-residential development. But there's a definition section and an acronym section, which is Chapter 2, which is real helpful. There's a lot of acronyms that might be used throughout the document. Chapter 3 is submittal requirements. So when someone comes to submit, the procedures that they are to follow. And we did include a flow chart that someone can easily kind of go through and see what category they fall into and what they need to submit. There's standards for stormwater quantity management. So that's detention ponds and piping and swales, ditches, all the design standards for that. Chapter 5 is standards for erosion and sediment control. So when the project is under construction and there's soil disturbed, they need to put in measures to help control erosion and pollution and things like that. Chapter 6 is for stormwater quality management for post-construction, and that's cleaning up the water before it leaves the property. That's one of the MS4 requirements. And then there's Chapter 7 is, bonds requirements, and then for during construction, the bonding that they would need to have in place. Chapter 8 is construction and completion. So what do they do during construction, and when is it that they can complete their project, and what do they need to submit? As-built drawings and things like that are all specified here. Chapter 9 is for illicit discharges, so anything that's connected to the storm system needs to be stormwater. It makes other connections illegal, which that's already an ordinance, but we're pulling it into here so it's kind of in one spot to easily refer to it. Chapter 10 is sanitary sewer prohibited discharges, and this is the sump pumps and where those are to discharge. Any groundwater discharge should not be connected to the sanitary sewer. Any clean water should not be connected to the sanitary sewer. The sump pump discharges are a storm sewer discharge, and so that's why that's in this ordinance. And then Chapter 11 is enforcement and penalties. And then there's several figures and tables and appendices. But just in general, it's pretty technical, but it's got a lot of requirements that are going to be helpful for the city to use when new development comes in and to help regulate that. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about why we're doing this.
Yes.
Is currently all of our drainage is, stormwater is reviewed and permitted through the city of Indianapolis. I think we should do it ourselves. I think we should have the enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should approve what's going to be constructed and the drainage locally. I think the city should issue the permits, and I think the fees should be collected to the city. And then I think who's ever getting the permit should pay to have inspections and final inspections and any problems to work with who's ever doing the project. The classic example now is the old folks home that they're building. That was a big stormwater management issue and drainage, and all of the funds, I believe, for stormwater went to the city of Indianapolis.
Well, for the plan review,
Yeah.
they approved everything, and all the review goes through them. So, and one example I was going to mention is that we spoke with the building commissioner here in Beech Grove, kind of developing this, and he said that when a new development goes on, that he sees erosion issues, or maybe there's a change that needs to happen with the drainage, because in the field, sometimes you make changes, and that all he has no control to make any changes or to enforce anything with erosion or anything like that. And so it's better to have local control. So a lot of times too, these infrastructure that's put into the right-of-way is being reviewed by Indianapolis, but then it's going to be your infrastructure in the end. So really you should have control over how that's designed and how it's installed. So this will give that authority.
Well,